One.
Good afternoon. My name is Specialist Castro, and today I'm going to be teaching a class on how to determine a magnetic azimuth using a Lensatic compass. First and foremost, we're going to go over the Lensatic compass and its components. You have the compass itself. You have a thumb loop, which you pull down to open, and it opens all the way until it's flat, and this is its base. You also have an eyepiece and a lanyard, which you use to tie off to yourself so you don't lose your compass whenever you're land naviging. The first thing you want to do when you get your compass, whether it's from supply or from the NCO that's giving it to you whenever you're signing out the compass for whatever reason you're doing that for, is you want to inspect your compass. The first thing you can do to inspect your compass is when you open it up, make sure that your rotating dial that's on the inside is freely moving. Your rotating dial is what gives it your north, south, east, west. It's what has your radials on there, and if it's not freely moving when you go to spin your compass, you're going to get wrong readings on the compass, and you're going to be going the wrong way for the most part whenever you're using it. Another thing you want to do is there's a wire on the top base of the compass. It's called a straight wire. You want to make sure that it's not broken, it's not bent, and it's not missing. You use a straight wire for whenever you're using your compass to cheek method and you're trying to figure out what degree something is in the distance. You line that up with your straight wire and it'll give you a pretty good reading. If it's broken, bent, or missing, you're going to be going off of those readings and you're not going to be as accurate as you should be. Another thing you want to check is that your glass and crystal is not broken. The glass and crystal is what you're looking through when you're looking at your radial dial, and the crystal is the top portion of it, which has, most of them have a glow-in-the-dark piece, which you can use to twist and maneuver to try to figure out your direction you want to go in. The glass piece is in the bottom of the crystal piece with in the index line. The index line doesn't move, but it's what you use to determine, later on we'll get to that, but it's what you use to determine the direction you're going in. And on the inside, on your radial dial itself, you want to make sure that you can read all of your numbers, all of the lines, and you want to make sure that they're clearly visible. You have a red ring and a black ring. The black ring is your mils, and your red ring is your degrees. You use those. You can use either or whenever you're trying to determine an azimuth and figure out which direction you would like to go in. In order to determine the direction, you want to align the compass in the way you want to go. So you open the base up fully until it's perfectly flat. You're going to locate your scale, which is on the left side of the compass. When you locate that, and your compass and where your sight wire is away from you, you know that you're pointing the compass in what the direction is supposed to be in. You then align the compass wherever you want to go. Say I want to go this way. After you point it out, you locate your scale again, and you look down and you determine to the nearest degree or 10 mils with the index line. And that's how you're going to determine where you want to go, is this index line. This line never moves off the glass. As where the glow piece on the crystal will move, the index line won't. So when you point it out and you look down, to my nearest degree is 110 degrees. My nearest mil is 20 mils. And that's me looking down through the index line onto the radial on the numbers and the numbers on the dial. You do want to keep this as a mental note though. Metal and electrical sources are going to affect how your compass performs. If you're near metal or if you're near electricity, it's not going to perform well. Some of the things you want to keep away from with distances is high tension power lines. Those are like your real big power lines. You want to be about 55 meters away from them. Their pull is pretty strong, If you're anywhere near them, your readings are gonna be off. You want to stay away from, if you're in the field, you want to stay away from any field guns, any tanks, and any trucks. Whenever you're plotting points and whenever you're determining your direction out in the field, you want to stay away from those things, because again, they're made of metal, and this is a magnetic compass. So if you're near metal, it's going to start pointing in that direction instead of north. And you want to be about 18 meters away from those. There's also telegraph and telephone lines, which aren't as strong as the high tension power lines, but they still have some pull to it, and you want to be at least 10 meters away from those. You also have your machine gun. Again, anything metal, you want to keep this away from. The machine guns are mainly made out of metal, so you want to be about 2 meters away from them. Another thing you want to try to keep away from is steel helmets and even rifles. If you're too close to your rifle, you can try to use your center hold method, which we'll go over later. And if your rifle is right near you, if it's close to the compass, it's gonna mess it up. It's gonna mess up your readings. So you want to try to stay away from that at least half a meter. And there's two methods you use to try to determine a direction with the Lensatic compass. There's the cheek to compass method, which we'll go over here in a minute, and there's the center hold method. We'll go over the cheek to compass first. The cheek to compass method first. In order to do cheek to compass method, again, you want to open up your base, opening up your thumb loop. Once you open that up, instead of opening it up all the way flat, you want to open it up 90 degrees. When you have it open to 90 degrees, your eyepiece, you want to lift that up about 45 degrees from the starting position. And this is your starting position of the cheek to compass method. You then want to throw your thumb through the thumb loop using your third and fourth fingers as a strong base for it. So when you have it, it's not falling and it has good support. Your index finger is gonna go up against the base of the compass, and your other hand, you're gonna use it as a good base as well. So again, third and fourth fingers on the bottom as a good base. Your other index finger is also going to go along the compass, so you have two index fingers holding it, and your thumb is also there for support. When you're ready to try to use the cheek to compass method, the thumb that's through the loop is the hand that you're going to throw up to your cheek for the compass. Now this, usually you can't use it with eyeglasses or eye pro, so it's a little bit harder to use. It's a little bit slower to use, but it is the more effective way to use it. So you grab it, you want to make sure that your glow in the dark point on your crystals straight out forward. You're gonna grab it, you're gonna bring, again, that thumb that's through the loop up to your cheek, and you want to point it out. And from here, you can move your eyepiece up and down however you need to get whatever reading you need. Because if you don't move it, it won't be in focus, or you're not going to be able to see it. And what's the point of doing cheek to compass if you can't see? So you're going to move it up or down so you're able to see everything clearly. You point it out. There's a tree out to my front left. I'm going to use that as a basis. That's 110 degrees and or 18.7 mils. Again, that's how you do the compass to cheek. It's a slower method, but it's more methodical. You can use it whenever you have time. It's a very time-consuming method, but it's very accurate. It's the best way to go about trying to find points. Again, that's if you have the time to do it. Another way that you can get your distance, or not distance, I'm sorry, but the direction you want to go in is with the center hold method. The center hold method, in comparison to the cheek to compass method, is the The center hold method is usually faster. It's a lot faster and it's a lot easier to use. It's not as accurate, but it's definitely faster and easier. You can use it in all types of visibility conditions because you have it right here in front of you, unless the condition is to where you can't see the hands in front of your face, and usually that's where the glow-in-the-dark portions of the compass will come into play. Even then you'll be able to see. You can use it when you're navigating through any type of terrain, so whether it's super hilly mountains, super flat lands, to where you don't have flatlands, if you don't have a point that you can try to pinpoint with your sight wire, or really hills, really hilly areas, so where there's a lot of trees or anything around you, and it's really hard to pinpoint one section and you lose track of a tree. The center hold method is a little bit easier to use because it's a general direction. You can use it with your eye pro, with your glasses if you have any, as I do. You don't have to take them off. It's not right up on your face, and it's really easy to use. And you can even use it without putting down your rifle. It doesn't mean you can have it up as you're walking, have your compass out, keep moving. But because you want to keep it at least half a meter away from you, so your rifle does have to be slung on your back, but all the way on your back, and you can use it like that. So the way to use the center hold method is you want to fully open the compass. It's not like the cheek to compass where it's halfway open. You want to fully open it. So where it's flat, you have your scale on the left fully usable, and you grab your eyepiece and you extend it as far as it can go, which would be about 90 degrees as well. Again, you want to throw your thumb through the loop so you don't lose it, and use your index fingers and your third and fourth fingers as a good base. You want to stand upright, and you want to place it in between your body, between your belt and your chin. So anywhere up here, anywhere down here, whatever is easiest and more comfortable for you is where you want to hold it. You don't want to hold it too low. You don't want to hold it too high. It's between your belt and your cheek. You want to have your elbows firmly to your side. You don't want to be walking around and moving around, because as you do that, you're moving the compass and you're moving your index line, and you're not going to get good readings that way either. So you want to have your elbows firmly to your side, and you want to, again, hold it firm to your body. And the way you look down, or the way you get your direction here, is you look down and you see where your index line is pointing, and you try to get it to the nearest degree or the nearest radial. I have a bush here to my front right. If I wanted to use the center hold method, I'll turn towards the bush. Again, elbows firmly towards my body. I have the compass in between my belt and my chin, and I'm pointing it out in that general direction, and I'm looking down. And I can see degrees, it's about 240 degrees, and radials, it's about 42.5 mils. And that's my radials for that. And that's how you would use the center hold method. And so, with that being said, at this point in time, we'll go towards the evaluation portion of everything. And the way you're going to be evaluated is the way you inspect the compass. Again, that's opening it up fully, make sure it opens, making sure your sight wire is straight, making sure that your crystal and glass aren't broken. You can read all the dials and all the radials on your floating dial. You want to make sure that's moving freely. And another thing you're going to be tested on is determining a direction with it. So again, that's just the basic opening it up, pointing it out. It's a looser version basically of the center hold. Point it out, okay, I got my direction, it's within this. You're going to be evaluated on cheek to compass, and you want to get within 3 degrees of whatever point that I'm going to give you. Get within 3 degrees of that, and once you effectively do that, you'll move on to the center hold method. With the center hold method, I'm going to give you a point. You want to get within 10 degrees and 10 mils of that point, and that's how you get a go. These are all go or no-go situations. with that being said, we'll go through the evaluation portion of the class. Okay. So now we're going to conduct an AAR. Of what was supposed to happen was we were supposed to go through a class on determining a magnetic azimuth using a Lensatic compass. You are going to be evaluated on inspecting the compass, determining your direction. You have how to use or how to do the cheek to compass method and the center hold method. What did happen? Okay. Is there any sustainments that can come from you guys? Anything at all? Was the weather pretty good? Was where we did it good? How did I do the class? What are you guys' inputs on that? Okay, good sustainments. Now improvements. Any improvements at all? What could I have done? Could I have talked slower? Could I have gone more in depth with the compass? Could I have gone up more and actually shown how to read the radials? Anything at all? Okay. At this point in time, we are gonna conclude this class. You guys are released, and Staff Sergeant Ivy, we have out of 10 students, 9 goes, 1 no-go. The no-go will meet me at his barracks at 1800 in their common area, and we're going to retrain, reassess, and we will re-evaluate on a later date.